Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ow. Talk to him. I mean, sometimes you got people going against you and you just gotta go above and beyond all that. Let's go. Straight up the top, just so you know ain't no stopping us. Yeah, I see you been watching us. You could.
Hey guys, as you probably already know, it's Face Tats McDoucheface. So today I want to talk about some of my biggest pet peeves. Usually I'm super positive about all this shit that happens in the shop and in my life in general, but today I'm not going to be negative about it. I'm actually just going to put this information out there because in my light and in my idea, that's actually going to be sending the positive energy, positive enlightenment and education about things that people do that piss pretty much every fucking tattoo artist off. I mean, that is if they're like really worth a shit. If this makes you mad, fucking deal with it. I don't care. I mean, make some comments. I'd love to hear about it. Tell me how bad you hate me. In long form. So, let's talk. First of all, if you have your boyfriend or girlfriend message me and ask me for pricing, it's probably fucking dumb. Not being negative here. Would you have your boyfriend or girlfriend call around and ask for surgery prices? Or would you want to know what the fuck's going to happen to you and from whom? I mean, I don't know. It's just an idea. Two, let's not call around and ask for prices in general. Do you call? I mean, okay, let's break this down. If you're calling around and asking for prices, you're doing one thing. You're trying to find the cheapest one. There's no other reason you should do that. You are price shopping permanent body modifications from somebody that's supposed to know how to keep your blood from getting infected with all kinds of shit. Is that really something you want to skimp on? I mean, and here's another thing that's crazy about this, is people that are cheap about their products or services. I'm not saying you can't provide a cheap product, but people that try to sell themselves as being ultra high quality and have a cheap product, it's not expensive, don't know their worth, A, which is possible but rare, so they're going to overwork themselves till they die, or B, really don't have that much worth in the first place because they're not willing to set their standard very high to make the prices that they would be able to make like that. Frankly, I'd rather do 10 tattoos in a month and make the same amount of money that I would make if I did 30 tattoos in a month by aiming for higher quality tattoos on higher quality clients. So, moral of the story is, if you call around a price shop, you're probably going to have a bad time. 3. Stop asking how much a sleeve is. Like, real talk. How much is a car? Call a car dealership and ask how much a car is. Call Walmart. How much is an item? Which also means that you probably haven't been watching the artist's art, which also means that you're price shopping because that's the next question. Every time. How much is a sleeve? Oh, okay, well, I don't know what that means. It's hard for me not to joke about this stuff because, guys, it happens every day, like a couple of times at least. See here, 4. We got to dig on this one, but there's going to be a few more that'll be a little bit more obscure, but are definitely a thing. If I'm getting ready to put a tattoo machine on you, don't move. Don't don't pull your arm back. Let me see it. It's not a big deal, okay? Like, it's a tattoo, and if you're that freaked out about it, then maybe you should take a break and come back when you're ready to get it. 5, don't ask to see me open the fucking needles, okay? Everybody's saying that like somehow that makes everything sterile. I promise you, if you know anything about bloodborne pathogens, cross-contamination is so much more dangerous than just somebody using a used needle on you. Which, speaking of which, if you're one of those guys that I've heard about that puts fucking needles in baggies and saves them aside for your clients later on, go kill yourself, because you're going to kill somebody someday with that shit. There's so many, literally there is. But, what is it, 6 I think I'm on now? I lost track because I'm ranting. Don't have to have so much creative control, guys. If you want a professional service, you must trust the professional. I believe that people that must have control in every aspect of their life and know every little detail of something usually get lower quality products no matter what it is. If you need to know every singular part of how a Ferrari works, likelihood is you can't afford a Ferrari. But the people that can just want a dope car. They trust the people that made that shit and take it into the dealership for them to fix it. Nobody that owns a Ferrari changes their own oil. So stop trying to like crowd tattoo artists into some specific design. Like if you're picking it off of Pinterest, we'll make this 7 and it'll just right leeway into the next one. If you're picking your tattoos off of Pinterest, you've already failed. You just troped your tattoo. Let me put this straight here. Do you know what a trope is? If you don't, I'll inform you real quick. A trope is a movie plot. You know, every movie we see anymore, we're like, that is a lot like this one. It's because there's no more plots. There's no more ideas for movies. Well, very few. Bird Box sucked. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I just had to say that to piss some people off. At any rate, it's because there's no more ideas that people are coming up with that are original because they don't care. They just want your money. The next blockbuster hit, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what the internet's doing to tattoo art, which it's cool because we're like in the second renaissance of tattoos, and damn am I grateful to be part of this. I think it's fucking amazing. But what I don't like seeing is where people are treating their tattoo artist like a printer. I'm sure that pretty soon here, tattoo printers are going to be in the mix, and they're probably going to do good tattoos, and that may or may not take over the business. But I'm going to tell you, if you're a tattoo artist that just prints off designs from the internet and slaps them on people, like, there's a difference between realism, like printing realistic stuff, stenciling it, and then bringing it all together into a unique piece, and just stenciling somebody else's tattoo, okay? If you're stenciling other people's tattoos, or just stenciling pictures, especially Pinterest stuff, like infinity knots, everybody knows that, when birds exploding out of stuff, like, oh my god, look, there's birds everywhere. Like, you know why I'm so jaded about that shit? Because I've probably tattooed 50 of them in a year at least for the past 10 years. And I used to be like, oh, people love this. And now I'm like, I'm never doing that tattoo again. Guess what? I'm out of that design. So even if you want it, you can't get it from me. You're welcome to get that tattoo, just not here. And that's, as I've talked about before, set my standards high because I think that people that have to have that much control, as I said in the last point, usually don't get what they want. And forcing somebody who is a professional to do those things usually will result in them saying, bait it, don't want your business. And you should be willing to accept that. Back to the trope idea, because this is a deep one. Every tattoo artist is going to agree with me, I promise. And if they don't, again, quality, we've already talked about it. Design, what you're doing is you're saying that I don't care enough to put thought into my art. That's not trusting your artist, okay? Trust us to do the job that we're going to do, and trust us to work to our strong suits. There's no such thing as the best tattoo artist. There's such thing as styles. There's such thing as artists being better at other stuff than they are at everything, and I think that's actually 100% the case. There's no such thing as a jack of all trades. But if your specialty is to just print stuff off and tattoo it on people, you don't have a specialty, which means that you're not even a jack of all trades. So when you bring it into people that are willing to do that, what you're actually getting, and this is going to piss a lot of people off, is somebody who's an over-glorified printer. And not even a printer, because if they were a printer, they'd be way more accurate. And the nice thing about my art is that when I draw it, if there's any mistakes, I can correct them because I drew it. If you can't draw a fucking face, how are you going to tattoo a portrait? You just stencil it? Come on, guys. Make some high expectations of yourself. The moral of this story is that if you want a high-quality tattoo, expect to conduct yourself in a high-quality fashion. And calling around asking for prices isn't the way to do it. Worrying about how much it's going to cost. I mean, don't go to somebody who's going to fucking straight out gouge you. But if they've got the value for it, I think it'll be pretty obvious. I mean, if they provide aftercare, any other number of things, I'm not going to get into my service here, but there is just two types of clients, good ones and bad ones, and I don't deal with the bad ones, and that's, you know, I try to be polite about it. I'm not the right fit for you. I don't think we're a good fit for this tattoo. Maybe I should recommend somebody else to you, but if somebody's willing to recommend their competition to you, that should say a lot about their integrity. And if your integrity towards yourself is cheap, fast, now, then you're already failing. So we'll close out with that actually real quick, because I think I got 7, yeah, 8. Don't insist on it being today. Like, you want it discounted, so cheap, want it fast, and right now, and print it off the internet. You're going to have a bad time, I promise you. And you're going to have a tattoo that 50,000 other people have, and you're going to see it everywhere. And in 10 years, I will put money down that you're going to be calling and talking to somebody to cover that shit. And when you do, I'll be waiting. You know how to act. All right.